Honorable Shong and his family. The Democratic Alliance. Honorable
Morning, Chair. I'm online, but I'm going to be in and out, so my colleagues will cover for me. Thank you.
Okay. Honorable Cameron.
He will only be joining us in half an hour. Chair is in another meeting.
Okay. Honorable Kola Barnett.
Yes, I'm here, and my deepest condolences. I can't imagine to lose a mother is terrible.
We're still coming to that item. We're now doing the roll call. Honorable Topa.
Present.
Honorable Malema.
Present.
Honorable Mattheys.
I'm here, thank you, Chair.
Honorable Mngango. Honorable Sols. Honorable Sols. Honorable Vessels. Honorable Vessels. Honorable James.
Present.
Okay, Bonani, can I check if we have apologies?
Hey.
Mr. Ramano. Advocate Arensa.
Good morning, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members. I'm here with Advocate Mkhize, and I think we have an apology for Advocate Mogoetsi. Thank you.
Okay, Andile, are you here?
Good morning, Chairperson, and to the honorable members, and good morning to my colleagues as well. Yes, I'm here, Chairperson. Thank you very much.
Okay, can I check with Mr. Ramano if he's back in the meeting? Mr. Ramano, are you here? Who is in for Mr. Ramano in his absence? Oh, okay, Honorable. Okay, honorable members, can we take this opportunity and express our condolences to Honorable Shongwe and his family? I'm going to start with the African National Congress.
Sorry, if I may, maybe people will be confused because I'm a bit available. I was about to say I'll leave in a while, but I'm here for now. Thank you, Chair. Honorable Shongwe.
Okay, welcome. Good morning and welcome. We have heard the sad news of the passing away of your mother. We are circulating between your fellow members to express their condolences.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. The African National Congress has requested the Chief Whip to please pass condolences on our behalf. I will hand over to the Chief Whip.
Okay, Honorable Ntuli.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning to you. Good morning to fellow honorable members, our legal team, and the staff of Parliament. And of course, I would like to particularly convey our condolences to Honorable Shongwe for the sad news of losing his mother. This is the most, I would imagine, the most difficult loss to contend with, given the fact that by nature, all of us are much more close, much more attached to our own mothers. I think more than anybody else, I would say. And so we really would like to convey our deepest condolences to you, Honorable Shongwe, your family, your friends, and your relatives for such a painful loss. And we hope and trust that God will be with you as you navigate the complex environment and the difficult situation of having to respond to this loss, and as you prepare to inter the remains of your mother at some point later. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you so much, Chief Whip. The MKP.
Honorable Skosana will do it, Chair.
Honorable Skosana.
Good morning, Chair and colleagues. I've got a problem of my network. I've missed a lot of things, but I just got the last message to say Honorable Skosana. So Nombalo was saying something, but I'm not aware. But what I want to say is that as well, to pass our condolences to the family of Shongwe, in particular our colleague, Tulani, Honorable Shongwe. May the family be comforted, to know that we are with them in this difficult time. Thank you, Chair.
The Democratic Alliance.
No, thank you, Chairperson. To Honourable Shongwe, my own personal sincerest condolences and that of the Democratic Alliance. It is a painful loss. To lose your mother is a very, very painful loss. And you remain in our thoughts and in our prayers, and we wish you all strength going forward. We really, really, really are very sorry for your loss. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Honorable Malema.
Chair, I'll do the condolences on behalf of the economic freedom fighters. We mourn with Honorable Shongwe's family the loss of his mom. Death is the one thing that is guaranteed in this life, yet it's something that we can never ever be prepared for, yet alone for the loss of our mother. So we mourn with him, and we send our deepest condolences, and we also pray that the family is comforted during this trying time. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mngongo. Honorable Sols.
Well, thank you, Chair. No, equally so on behalf of myself, the Patriotic Alliance, and our entire leadership, our entire party, we wish to extend our sincerest condolences to Honorable Shongwe and his family. I still have my mother, and I can't fathom what it would be like to lose my mother, so I'm not going to pretend like I know pain, but what I can do is have you and keep you in my prayers, my brother, and ask God for strength. There is a scripture that says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted." And I pray that God comforts you, especially in times when we are all not there, in the wee hours of the morning. May the Lord be with you, my brother. God, thank you, Chair.
Honorable Vessels. Honorable James.
Honorable Shongwe, from myself and Action SA, allow us to extend our heartfelt condolences for the loss of your mother. I think losing a mom, just Saturday I posted, my mom is 86. And when I think of my mom, I count my blessings twice. We are because of our mothers. We are because of the prayers of our mothers. And no matter how old we are, we always feel that, what will I do and how will I go through life without my father, without my mother? It is one of my biggest fears that I live with every day. I want to leave you with a scripture. I think it's in Thessalonians that says, "We do not mourn as those who do not have hope." Remember this morning that no matter what we say to you, we may not comfort you right now, but there's a comforter above all comforters, and his name is Jesus. Count on him during times such as this, for he will definitely see you through this pain and this period. Thank you.
Thank you so much, honorable members, for those profoundest messages. Honorable Shongwe, the long and short of it is that we express our deepest sympathies and our sincerest heartfelt condolences to you and the family. The loss of a mother is a grievous loss, and we hope that the family will have strength and courage to contend with the grief. May the Lord God give you guidance during this mourning period and show the light for you to have a dignified burial for the beloved mother. Amen. Do you want to reply to this message, Honorable Shongwe?
Thank you, Chair, and the colleagues. Indeed, Chair, it is a very, very difficult time. It is even difficult to utter the word mother without shedding tears. But I feel loved, and I don't even feel alone because of colleagues and family and parties that are also wishing me this well wishes. I appreciate, Chair, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Shongwe. Honorable members, let's come back to the agenda. The agenda is flighted on the screen. The first item there is scheduling of witnesses. The second item is the correspondence from the Office of the Speaker. There is a letter which has been written to the Speaker by an organization called South African National People's Civic Organization. Number 3 is questions to the President. You will remember in the last meeting, we said that members must submit questions to the President. The item should not only include the Office of the President, but other institutions in the criminal justice cluster where members may want to forward questions. And the last item is the consideration of the minutes. There are about 7 sets of committee's housekeeping meeting minutes that have been circulated, and 7 others are the minutes for the proceedings in the chambers. So the minutes of the proceedings will come in installments because they are so many. We have about 48 sets of minutes on the proceedings in the House, so they will come in installments. Can I check whilst the agenda is still flighted on the screen, if members have additional items they want to include on the agenda? Honorable Matthews. Honorable Matthews.
Chair, thank you, Chair. It's not necessarily an addition, but it was on the issue of minutes. Do you want me to come back? I wanted to suggest that we remove the issue of adopting minutes because we received, I think it was about 10 or 15 sets of minutes on Saturday, and we need to have time to go through the minutes in line with the proceedings before we can adopt them. So I'm asking that item be postponed to the next meeting to just give us time.
Okay, Honorable Skosana.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to add on the agenda that, and I think the Ramano knows about the additional public participation, who's been sending us emails that he was not called and he was on the list and is prepared to come in here. Whether it's raining, he wants to be part and parcel of what he submitted to the Secretariat. I want us to add that. Thank you, Chair.
Is the person anonymous, or do you have the name of the person?
I've got the name of the person. It's Cheti, I think that's her name, Cheti. Ramano knows because he spoke to him on Tuesday last week, and he sent emails. In fact, he copied me an email as well to say he's not happy. On Thursday, he's not called, and we said it's the last day on Wednesday. And now you want to know why he was not called.
Okay, Mr. Ramano, are you here? Okay, can I check? Hello?
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Chair. I am here. I can confirm that Honorable Skosana spoke to me about the witness who was part of the list. But if you indicated that was and I spoke to the person, Mr. Chief, and he told me that he was not available for Thursday, and that we should move for another day. So that is how far we are with him. So if the committee wants to weigh in, all that is left is for us to agree on the date. Thank you.
So you are saying that you contacted the witness, and the witness says they can be available.
Yes, sir. I spoke to the witness. He was not available to come last week, but he is available to appear before the committee from now on. Thank you.
Okay. No, it's fine. Let's discuss that matter when we discuss the scheduling of witnesses. Can I check with members if they agree that the item on the minutes must be taken off the agenda? ANC.
Good morning again, Chairperson. Yes, we would like to support that recommendation. We also have not had sufficient time to go through all of the minutes. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, the MKP.
Yes, we want to support that as well. Thank you.
The DA.
Yeah, we support, Chair. Thank you.
The Patriotic Alliance.
It's a Chair.
Action SA.
Supported, Chair.
Thank you so much, honorable members. Can I assume that we are done with the the adoption of the agenda. Those are the
Chair.
items.
Chair Shongwe here.
Okay, Honorable Shong.
So, excuse me, Chair. I might have missed a point somewhere because of network. But Chair, I just wanted to check where are we with the issue of correctional service. I'm asking this, Chair, because this last week in Davidton, there were 3 taxi bosses that were shot and killed, and a student who was passing by was killed. And it is found that one of the shooters was also killed in that scene. But apparently there's evidence that the orchestrator of those murders is in prison, just like in Lusigisi. So I just wanted to check if we may not at the point of correctional services. And maybe also, Chair, look at an option of asking for more time or an extension for the AdHoc committee in such a light of this matters. Thank you, Chair.
Chair.
Hello.
Chairman.
Is that Honorable Malema?
Yes.
Yes, you are allowed, Mukhalaka.
I wanted to come to my condolences to Comrade Shomwe, but I wanted to come to the issue of requesting the extension for this committee. Because as things unfold, it's very clear that there are critical people that we need on this committee, and because they can see the lifespan of this committee is coming to an end, they're playing delaying tactics. So we cannot conclude the work of this committee before we get some of the people to come here. Thanks.
Yeah, the reason why the scheduling of the witnesses, I have advised last week the team that when they come to present the proposal, because it was evident when we closed the meeting, the proceedings last week, we said that this week, for instance, we only have tomorrow and Wednesday, because there is a State of the Nation on Thursday, and next week you would remember that the debates on the SONA are starting on Monday, and the President will be responding on Wednesday, and Thursday is the budget tabling, the tabling of the budget. So it means we effectively lose 5 days. So when the team will be presenting the scheduling of witnesses, they will table a proposal that the committee should consider. In a nutshell, they have a proposal that they want to table before the committee, which includes dates on which all of those witnesses that the committee has identified should appear, and the sequence will be presented in this meeting. Is that adequate, Honorable Malem?
Thank you, Chair. I agree.
So I'm going to circulate the matter that Honorable Shongwe is raising. If I can request you, Honorable Matthews and Honorable Skosana, to lower your hands unless you have issues that you want to raise on the agenda. Okay, thank you so much. Honorable Shongwe has raised a matter on correctional services here. Can I hear what is the take of the meeting on the proposed item that he's making? The African National Congress.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think that we think that correctional services was part of the scope of the terms of reference of this ad hoc committee, as was the magistry, the judiciary, and all organs of law enforcement. The problem that we sometimes encounter, though, with the MKP is MKP not following your directive, Chair, where you would have said if there is a certain judge, magistrate, or even correctional services official that they would want to be called to the committee, they need to come to the committee and motivate. That is how we understand the matter having been handled in the past. So while we note and really condemn the actions of last week, we would ask that MKP comes and motivates and gives us names. But in the same breath, Chairperson, in successive meetings, we have been taking a decision that says we have done this list, the list is closed, our deadline is the 20th of February. Now, I know you are yet to present the program. I don't know whether that deadline is now a moving target, but we seriously caution against having an open-ended process when we've already missed the 2 or 3 previous deadlines. And unless there's extreme justification on some of these matters, the ANC would not want to be supporting an open-ended process. So I to answer your question directly, Chair, we would wait until we get the motivation and the identification of witnesses, but we do think that barring the names that we had said last week, they must be assessed. We should not be getting any new witnesses. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
The MKP.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to support what Honorable Shongwe suggested. One, the correctional service issue and the issue of the extension, that we will request the extension, and I guess Honorable Malema as well.
We are not discussing the extension now.
Actually, listen.
If you may please,
Sangoni.
If you may please listen a moment, Honorable Scotan. The item that Honorable Malema raised, the chair clarified it that it is incorporated in item 1 of the agenda. And then the item that is being circulated for input by members is the one that Honorable Shongwe has suggested. You can go ahead.
Chair. I heard that, but Honorable Sangoni was saying that we cannot have something which we don't know when it's going to end. Hence, I'm saying, I'm raising that now to say, besides the correctional service issue, the issue of extension, you are going to ask for it. But as you say, we'll discuss it later. But I'm saying I've uttered those words because of the Honorable mentioned that now to say, we can't open for witnesses, which that trigger the issue of extension. But anyway, it's fine. Thank you.
The DA. The Democratic Alliance.
Sorry, I was having trouble unmuting. Chair, yes, obviously, if there's a strong motivation for further witnesses, we'll have to consider it very carefully. We're not really in favour of extending this matter indefinitely. To go and ask for another extension, I think, will be unsatisfactory. And Chair, if we keep extending the list of witnesses and we keep submitting questions to various departments, then we make it impossible for the administration of this committee to produce a report. So I don't know how we see an end in sight if we continue with extensions and more people. It's very difficult. So we're not really in favour of an extension, or unless there's a really good motivation. It's not something we can say no to. Thank you, Chair.
The EFF.
Thank you, Chair. I really want to plead with the comrades in the MKP that we shouldn't generalize. It becomes like we don't want to support the proposals that are going to be helpful. But if really there's nothing presented before us to say, we need this and this and this one because of the following. This one is implicated that he releases the prisoners at night, uses correctional service cars to go and kill people, and then bring them back into the cells, and they cannot be suspects because they've got alibis that they were inside the cells, something like that. But to just say people were killed there and therefore we need to call correctional service, it gives us a difficulty there. But we are very sympathetic to what happened, and we really want to send our sympathies to the families who were affected by that barbaric act that happened. But to call just to say correctional service, it makes it very, very difficult. It's the same thing as the judiciary. If we get a specific judge, a motivation is given, we will not have a problem supporting that because it is in the terms of reference. The same thing with prosecutors, specific prosecutor, if mentioned and motivated properly, we can call that person and listen to that person. But for now, it becomes difficult to just say we support calling of correctional service based on what. So the other issue, I think, Chair, you dealt with it. Thanks.
Thank you so much, the Patriotic Alliance.
Thank you, Chair. We support the approach as stated by Honorable Sangoni. Thanks.
The Action SA.
We support the view of, I think it was the ANC and the DA and EFF. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Your inputs make it easier for the chair to preside over the meeting when you speak in a united voice. Honorable Member Shongwe, the meeting says that there should be sufficient motivation for consideration by the committee before a decision is made on that matter. So the item that you have suggested, the meeting feels that it has not been sufficiently motivated. So we're going to move to the next item, which is the presentation on the scheduling of witnesses. I just want to indicate to you, like I have said, honorable members, that this week we only have 2 days. And next week we have no day. And next week from the 16th is the week leading up to the 20th. So there are parliamentary activities, the State of the Nation on Thursday this week, the debate on the SONA from Monday next week, ending up with the tabling of the budget by the Minister of Finance. So the committee was supposed to be concluding its work on the 20th of February, which is next week. So the timetable that is going to be presented to you, I want you to carefully follow it and make sure that all the witnesses that you have identified have been allocated days. When we check on the revised proposal that is being presented to you now, extending beyond the 20th of February, this proposal will then take us to the 6th of March, which will be the last day of appearances. And then from there, the committee may be needing a further week or two to conclude, to consider the report. And so as this presentation will be made, I will want to plead with you to take every detail and satisfy yourself that all the witnesses have been allocated, so that when we come out of this meeting right into the office of the Speaker to request for extension, we should be practical and say Speaker, we have the following witnesses, like Honorable Malema has said. We are proposing that their allocation should be as follows, and with the days that we are proposing. The work of the committee may finish, or the appearances before the committee may end on the 6th of March, and the committee further request a week or two to consider its reports and then be able to report to the office of the Speaker and Parliament. So this week, honorable members, we only have 2 days and we have one witness who is appearing tomorrow and Wednesday, and the witness is appearing physically. The statement of the witness has been circulated with the members, and the name of the witness is Mr. Paul O'Sullivan. He will be here tomorrow, and on Wednesday is a physical appearance. We want to thank the legal team and the security team of Parliament when we met in our last meeting to say that they must continue to engage with him and show him the security arrangements that Parliament has put in place. That, those are the security arrangements that Parliament normally makes when the head of state come here or ministers come here, members come to Parliament, including guests that will come to Parliament. Those are the security arrangements in place. And we want to also thank members for the wisdom that they imparted in our meetings, that we successfully secured through engagements and every means possible. We were able to secure the appearance of Mr. Paul O'Sullivan like any other witness that has appeared before the committee previously. I want to thank you so much for all the inputs that you have made, and the witness will be with us here tomorrow. And like I say, all those other witnesses, General Patlani, General Vuma, Mr. Faisal Adams, Mr. Brown Mohodzi, and all the public participation witnesses that have been identified. The team will present here, make sure that all the names that you want are on that list and are allocated on the timetable. May I hand over to, is that Dio Andile or Advocate Mohaiz or Advocate Arense who leads us in this presentation?
It's Advocate Arense here. Thanks.
Okay, Advocate Arense.
Okay. Good morning still, Honourable Chair, Honourable members, my colleagues, and also the legal team's sincere, heartfelt condolences to Honourable Shongwe. His mother, late mother, dear mother, raised a really gentle man. He's always pleasant, always friendly, and we've come to really enjoy his presence on the committee, and our interactions with him have always been top class. So we really feel for him. I, like some of you, also lost a mom at the age of 92. So I think I can genuinely sympathize with the loss, and you wish him all the best and all the comfort, and may the Almighty bless him and his family in these difficult times. Thank you, Chair. Can I ask that the draft program or proposal be flighted? I'm not able to do so from our side. Andile?
No, Bonan will fight it.
Yeah. And Chair, just while we're waiting, this is a proposed timetable. Firstly, in consultation with the parliamentary legal team, and based on the names, prospective names of witnesses that had been provided to us, and so we've accommodated these witnesses on the proposed timetable as will be shown, starting tomorrow and Wednesday with Paul O'Sullivan, who will attend in person. On behalf, I'd like to thank the parliamentary
Chair,
security.
I have my hand up. It's Leanne.
Yes, Honorable Matthijs.
Chair, can we get a copy of the program posted in our group, please? Because on the screen, I don't know if there's anybody else, but it's a bit difficult for us to see. So can we get the document posted so we can follow it more clearly, please? Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, that is a fair request, Honorable Matthijs, because you need to satisfy yourselves that all the witnesses that have been agreed upon are appearing on the timetable, because once the timetable goes off the screen, members may no longer be able to follow. Can we do that one? And I think there is no problem doing that, Advocate Arendse.
No problem, Chair. I need to please enlarge. It is difficult to.
Yeah, but I think the challenge.
Oh, I see. I added a facility that I clicked on it and enlarged. I don't know any of the other members.
Honorable
Shongwe. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Apologies, Chair, again. I think I've had my hand up since Honorable Malema was speaking. I think you didn't see my hand. If I may take you back, Chair, quickly, but I won't take long. In the issue of Honorable Malema, I agree with him that we must always avail what is somehow of evidence to support or give strength to what we're suggesting. And I appreciate the teachings, Chair, always. But on this one, Chair, of this correctional service, there is sufficient evidence. The only problem is that some of these things you can't say here online, Chair. So I would ask for a way maybe to how to support this proposal that I'm coming with before it's taken down. But I think the Sigi Chair is support enough. Everybody knows about the Sigi, and it doesn't need that much of explanation. It's very painful. I understand on the new subject that I'm raising. But hence I'm using the Sigi as one of those. The one that I'm using is not just a general thing. It has evidence that is a person in prison and who it is. So it needs attention, Chair, that we can't miss that space. I'm just saying that you're not disagreeing with Honorable Malema. I appreciate the teachings, but I also want to state that Sigi is evident enough, Chair, to start probing correctional service. Thank you, Chair. Sorry for taking you back.
Oh, okay. Look, I don't have a problem with what you are saying. Let me give you this comfort that in the timetable that is going to be presented here, we have also decided that in the light of the evidence that has been previously presented, we are bringing back General Masemola. So I think in the event that you may want issues like this ones to be properly ventilated, it's some kind of evidence or including questions that members may, even before General Masemola comes back, so that there is concrete prima facie evidence that the this is a matter that the committee has to deal with. What members are saying is that let's back it with sufficient evidence, and if there is a way in which you will want to share that evidence with us, we can always discuss and create that platform for you to share it if you think that it's a very sensitive information that may not be disclosed like this. But we will create a platform for you to share that information with us. Is that okay, Honorable Shong?
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Advocate, may you proceed.
Thank you, Chair. So we see in green and the dates are for tomorrow and Wednesday. Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, so he will be appearing. Then so we only have 2 days this week. Next week, as you indicated, is also out on the 23rd of February. We've scheduled Sarah Jane Trent and Honorable Adams. We've flagged Sarah Jane Trent because of our understanding that because she was closest to Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, and at the time when he had indicated he was not willing to appear in person and would only appear online, that she then be called in view of Mr. O'Sullivan appearing.
Honorable Matthijs, may you please mute yourself? Thank you so much. You can proceed,
Thank you.
Advocate Arens.
So in view of Mr. O'Sullivan himself appearing, whether it is still necessary to call Ms. Sarah Jane Trent in view of our time constraints and also fitting in other witnesses. So we leave that, we flag that, and then on the same day, Honorable Adams, hopefully the Honorable Member will indicate to us his availability. We had arranged to consult with him, I think it was in last week, and somehow we couldn't connect with him. Mr. Mogotsi for the 24th of February, currently with parliamentary security and ourselves, we are in fairly regular contact with Mr. Mogotsi, and we are quite hopeful of a resolution of that matter as soon as possible. And if we don't by Wednesday, we will indicate to you, Honourable Chair, that it might be the case that we would, through you obviously, request the Speaker to authorize to issue a summons and if necessary a warrant if he doesn't comply. But so far he has on a regular basis interacted with us and parliamentary secretary, head of Parliament Security. On the 20, I think is that the 26th, Lieutenant General Pashlani, sorry, Vonani, can you move up the schedule? No, after Pashlani. Yeah, then we have Lieutenant General Vuma for the 27th. And then on the last week, or as proposed, obviously, the last week, Lieutenant General Mushakiri and Lieutenant General Sentumile, Then the following day, a day open for public participation, witnesses that you see there. And then on the last 2 days, Lieutenant General Mkonazi and Lieutenant General Masimola. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. That's my presentation on behalf of the evidence leaders and parliamentary legal team. Thank you.
Chair, are you there?
I mean, we have lost him. I've lost the chair. Proceed.
Advocate Arendse, are you done?
Honorable Chair, yes, I indicated that that's the presentation on the witness schedule on behalf of the evidence leaders and the parliamentary legal team.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think members have noted that we are going to take Mr. Tejana. The next item is on the letter from South African National People's Civic Organization.
Are we not discussing the proposal? Chairperson?
Yes, Honorable Kola Barnard, we are going to circulate. We are going to circulate for members to discuss
about the schedule.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Good morning, Chairperson. Chairperson, just on the schedule as well, and I'm sorry for this. You will recall that at our last meeting on Thursday, Honorable Novalo had raised the possibility of calling the prosecutor who was involved in the Mr. O'Sullivan's matter. Remember, we've written to the NPA, requesting certain information from them, and of course, via written submission. But the thing is, he only gave me today, this morning, the contacts of the prosecutor. So I'm saying, Chairperson, as members engage the schedule, can they also factor the issue of that prosecutor Mashucha in the schedule as well? Thanks, Chairperson. Chairperson, I'll move straight to item number 2. Chair, on the 17th of January 2026, an organization called South African People's Civic Organization wrote to the Speaker urging her to remove senior counsel as evidence leader of the AdHoc committee on account of bias and lack of fairness in the manner in which he leads certain witnesses. Subsequently, the Speaker addressed correspondence to the chairperson of the AdHoc committee on 27 January 2026, requesting the committee to provide her with relevant information in this regard, if any, including affording an opportunity for counsel to comment in this regard. Our view, Chairperson, is that in order for the committee to avoid a situation where it must deal with a deluge of these letters from the public going forward, the committee must give comfort to the public that the process which the committee is embarking on via this inquiry is member-led. The evidence leader simply leads evidence. It is only the committee that makes a determination or that decides what to do with that evidence. Moreover, the committee also collects evidence on its own via members' questions to witnesses. In a nutshell, Chair, we are saying that our people must find comfort in knowing that this process is led by none other than members of parliament. And to the extent that there are people like evidence leaders who are assisting this committee, their role is limited to that assistance and not to making determinations or decisions on behalf of the committee. Thanks, Chairperson.
Okay. Thank you so much. And the last item on the questions to the president, we have said that we have given members until Thursday after the State of the Nation address to submit questions not only to the president but to other institutions that would have appeared before the committee for further clarity or matters that will need further processing by the committee. So I'm going to circulate the three items, the proposal on the schedule and the request for extension. And then number 2 will be the letter with the recommendations that Mr. Tejana is making. And the last will be on those questions that members must forward if they have. And I hope that members have also listened to the comments of Honorable Breitenbach when she says that we need to be reasonable with the time that we allocate for members to submit questions so that we make the work of the technical team easier. They must have those responses in time and be able to factor them in the final report that will be made available to the committee for consideration. Can I rotate members for your inputs on the three items that have been presented here?
Here I see Advocate Orange's hand is up.
Oh, okay, Advocate Arens, may we hear you before we rotate?
Thank you, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members. I just wanted to request that I be recused from any discussion on the item that concerns me, Honorable Chair.
Okay, that is fair. So then it means let's take the.
Sure if my input is further required.
Let's take the two items, item 1 and 3, and then we will release you when we deal with item 2. Is that okay?
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Yes, honorable members who are rotating item 1 and 2. 1 and 3, we will deal with item 2 later so that we can allow Advocate Aranse to recuse himself from the meeting. Honorable Sangoni, who is speaking from the ANC?
Thank you, Chair. I will go first and then other members of the ANC may add. Chair, maybe just to start off with some clarity-seeking questions, whether the color codes on the witness schedule represent anything. Mr. Paul O'Sullivan is green, all the other people are red. So can we take it that those dates are confirmed or is it still proposed? And this, Chair, is quite important for us because, as we indicated, if we have to, agree with the extension as proposed based on the availability of witness, it would be our hope that these dates are not going to change. Chair, let me also thank the Speaker, thank the evidence leader for securing the participation of physical appearance of Mr. Paul O'Sullivan. You will know it has always been the view of the African National Congress that neither of the two gentlemen, Mr. O'Sullivan or Mr. Mokhotsi, must be allowed to appear virtually before this committee, that they should present them physically, to the extent that we fully supported and backed the call that summons must be issued to them. I think from the advice of the Speaker, it's clear that at least we have found a way to ensure that on the basis of rationality, reasonableness, justification, this witness is able to appear before us. So we do thank all of you, the Speaker, the Chair, and the evidence leader for the role that you have played in securing that attendance. Chair, secondly, I also wanted to check on the issue of the witnesses. I'm not sure if Bonani responded to the, sorry, I know he responded, but I'm not sure if it's captured in the schedule. The issue that Honorable Skosana had raised about a missing witness, whether that witness now has been covered in the schedule, in which case it's not a problem. Otherwise, we may just need to get an explanation what would have happened in that regard. Chair, our hope as the African National Congress is that this is really the final extension. I think based on today's meeting, there's a general view that says where we have justification, we're able to identify persons or people from correctional services, and I know we spoke about NPA, that we should call, I think that has been agreed to. But can we now agree that we are casting this program in stone, and we are not going to make changes save to add correctional services if we need to, as well as NPA? On the issue of Ms. Sarah Jane Trent, Chairperson, I see that there's a disclaimer that we need to consider if it's necessary for her to come. We had long agreed to Ms. Sarah Jane to present herself before the committee, but we would be persuaded if other colleagues think that if Mr. O'Sullivan, as her boss, is here, that sufficiently covers the issue. But we have no view either way on Ms. Sarah Jane Trent. She can appear. We're also amenable if she doesn't appear. And then the final question I have, Chairperson, relates to the matter of the so-called witnesses to be assessed. When can we expect a report on that? Because we don't want this program to now change where there's a discussion that new witnesses must be called. So if we could just get clarity on that, and I think our support on this extension to the 6th of March as the last date of the hearings is based on all of those factors being considered and all of those witnesses scheduled within that period, and no further extensions beyond that. I think maybe let me stop here, Chair, and then other colleagues from the ANC are free to add. Thank you, Chair. Oh, sorry, and then the last item, which was the last item, number 3, you.
Yeah.
Sorry, on the letter to the President. Yeah, the letter is to the President, Chair. The African National Congress has made our submission to Bonani in terms of questions. So we don't have an outstanding matter there. And then I'm not sure whether the deadline of after SONA is the same for letters to other institutions. But at this point, we still have the one letter that we were requesting be written to SAPS with regards to the progress on the investigation of the murder of General Mfaz. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you so much. Maybe before we take the next speaker, if clarity can be given on the color coding, because when I saw it for the first time, I thought those in green were the witnesses identified by the ANC, and those in red were witnesses identified by the EFF. Just on a lighter note, honorable members, can we?
Yes. That green looks like PA green, Chair. Let's just be clear.
Can I explain that, Chair?
Yes, Honorable Tejan.
No, I'm not. Okay, Chair. Chair, the green. Remember that the duration of the committee, Chair, even as things currently stand, expires on the 20th, which is next week, Friday. So the green on Mr. O'Sullivan merely says he is the only witness who has been fitted within the formal duration of the life of the committee. So in other words, the red ones, what it means, Chair, is that we have no extension from the Speaker or from the House to schedule those ones. And of course, if the members are with counsel insofar as saying these are the witnesses that you want, then that would then mean that a letter of requesting an extension will have to be addressed to the Speaker as soon as possible. So the green is just to say it's within the deadline, which is the 20th, and red merely says we're outside of what we've been given by the House. Thanks, Chair.
Okay. And then the inclusion of the prosecutor and any other witness that might have been left out, if they were to be included, it means the date may extend beyond the 6th of March.
No, Chair. Look, that's not the first option. The first option, Chair, would be that, of course, that would depend on honourable members, because the first option would be that we sit on Mondays and Fridays.
Okay. So if there is any one or two witnesses missing, the proposal is that we must look for days within the deadline of the 6th of March.
Correct.
Thank you so much. Can we then move to the next speaker from the ANC, Honorable Sangoni? Who will that be, if there is?
Chair, I think yes, it's the Chief Whip. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, Honorable.
No, thanks, Chair. Well, Chair, to a very large extent, I think Kusela has covered what one wanted to say. I'm just going to make two very brief additions. The first one is that I'm very happy that ultimately we have found a workable solution for Mr. Osuluven to appear before the committee and do so in person, starting tomorrow and ending on Wednesday. Because as honorable members will know, this matter has attracted a very, very wide coverage in the media and social media, and resulted to a very large extent in a lot of exchanges in the public, including amongst ourselves as members of this committee. And the fact that a solution has been found without subjecting Parliament to what was potentially going to be a huge litigation, because it was clear that if he doesn't cooperate, we'll subpoena him. All that needed to be done is to do that subpoena in a correct way. We had the possibility to end in the court of law, and that has been evaded or avoided. I think is quite commendable on your leadership as our chairperson, and with whatever guidance and advice that the office of the Speaker and the Speaker herself provided in the process. The second issue is the issue relating to the extension. Chair, we are really not that comfortable with this extension. And I'm happy that Mr. Techane has made an addition, because when I initially wanted to comment, I was going to suggest that we don't take a firm decision here and now about the actual date at which the extension should be made, without having had a report from our legal team on the assessment they were going to conduct with those potential witnesses whose appearance before us had not been finalized until they've done the assessment. And I was very concerned that if we take a decision to extend and we even put a date, not just a principle, but equally a date, and yet that work has not been concluded, aren't we putting ourselves in a difficult position where we may be required to come back and review the data again? And but if Mr. Techane gives us an assurance that date we can stick to it,
on the basis that whatever work that still needs to be done can be accommodated over the other days that we had not ordinarily used as part of our hearings, then I'm comfortable with. But if there is no absolute certain on that, I think it would be problematic for us to go back to Parliament and say, please give us an extension until the 6th or the 7th, whatever the date. And then we go back to them again in 2 weeks' time, and we further require another 3 or 4 days. So if we take a position like that, Chair, I really would like you, at the end of the discussion, to get an absolute confirmation from our legal team. If that which we are deciding in this issue of the date is going to be possible and practically possible given the work ahead of us. Because Parliament has reopened. It's not unlike when we had to rush the date last year because we did not want the House to rise without having authorized an extension. In this case, we have no rush for the House to rise. So we need to be very, very certain about what we're requesting, lest we would look like people who do not really have the capacity to plan their own work activities properly. Those are the comments I wanted to make, Chair. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, MKP.
Thank you very much, Chair. And greetings to members of the committee again, progressive comrades of this committee, who stood firm and who went out to denounce Paul Sullivan's arrogance and the tactics of wanting to avoid appearing before this committee. Had it not been for that, Paul Sullivan would still be displaying his arrogance today. There is no guidance to be received from anyone. Progressive members of this committee went to the street to denounce Paul Sullivan's arrogance. And as a result of that, Paul Sullivan swallowed his pride. That is why he has taken a decision to come and testify physically, because he realized that he is no longer dealing with his friends here. He's dealing with sober MPs who are going to make sure that no one is treated is getting a special treatment here. The rule of law reigns supreme and everyone must be treated equally with other witnesses. So that is what has made Paul Sullivan to change his mind and nothing else. Chairperson. Regards to the program, Chair, our view is that Ms. Jane must come must appear, even if Mr. Paul O'Sullivan appears, because the nature of allegations against her requires her to give responses, because some of the allegations are allegations which implicate her directly. So the testimony of Mr. Paul O'Sullivan might not necessarily cover allegations which are directed against Ms. James. So we require her to come and appear before the committee on her own so that we can ventilate all the matters that are surrounding her. So our view, Chair, is that she must come, and we don't think, we don't know whether it will be possible or not to have a comprehensive interaction with her on the same day with General Pashane. I'm saying this because General Pashane is a very broad person when he responds to questions. So I think he needs his day, his one day. I don't see it practically possible to have both of them on the same day. But if the committee says we are rushing, let's have them on the same day, then we will subject ourselves to the behest of the committee. Then, Chair, on the issue of extension, our view is very simple. we've always been saying that we can't compromise the quality of our work because of time limitations. And we can't throw under the wind evidence or testimonies rather that might assist our probing and want to cite time limitations as an excuse. If there are more witnesses that we identified to be witnesses of interest, and that will require us to ask for extension, then let's request for extension, because here we need to be meticulous. We shouldn't do things under an impression that we are rushing. We should do things under an impression that we want to test all the allegations, invite all the relevant people, and we want to produce a comprehensive report for which we have done a widespread consultation or probing rather. So, Chair, we support a call for extension under the circumstances. There is absolutely no way that we can complete all this work under this time that we have set for ourselves. So our view is that let's give a mandate, the technical team to write a letter to the Speaker and ask for extension at 10%. Honorable Skosana and Honorable Shaw will come in and make some decisions. Thank you.
Honorable Skosana.
Thank you, Chair. I think, Chair, hence I'm going to repeat again to say, when we drop the ball, we must own up and should not come with excuses. The Secretariat know about this issue of public participation, and I'm happy that now it's back on the agenda here. There's, I think I saw 5 people already here, which are flighted here. But indeed, the issue which I've raised earlier, I'm suspicious because I don't understand why that list of that what it treaty is not in the list here. After he has spoken to Ramano, 6 days later, still is not on the list. And that list was submitted to us. There were 15 of them. But I'm not sure what is happening here. I'm not sure what is happening here. It's disappointing to say the list. It doesn't matter, which color are you. The issue of Paul O'Sullivan, in fact, I think my colleague Honorable Nombalo has summarized it well. And we are not going to beg anyone to come here. Everyone must come and who's called to come before this committee, whether it's a ANC or it's Umkhonto weSizwe or any other party. We are members of Parliament, all of us here. We need those witnesses which we identify, and I've made submission when it comes to judiciary. The issue of Wendy Madondo, Hudson Madondo is there. The issue of Silas Chabalala, the project is there. I can't go on if they are not accepted. So be it. But it should not be said there's no name, there's no submission. Submission are there with the Secretariat. Why do those people were mentioned? For instance, I'll give an example. Judge Lehodi in the evening gave a bail to Paul O'Sullivan. That you cannot arrest that man. You must give him 48 hours. What motivation? Why should we do another motivation on that? It's clear. He's the only person I've ever heard, unless somebody's got another evidence, who must be given an opportunity before he can be arrested. Besides the issue of Mabuyane, but that one he went to get a court order as well. It's a different ballgame. But I'm saying Paul O'Sullivan's got a court order which is breaking about to say he must be informed before he can be arrested. You must give him 48 hours. There's Judge Lehod he is retired now. But I'm saying, I don't know. I don't know why you are we dwelling about these issues. Evidence are there, submitted. So the issue of extension, Chair, I concur with the honourable member as well that we should be meticulous when we are dealing with these matters. We must not rush. We know it must end at the end of the day, But the issue, the chief whip as well said, perhaps we are shooting ourselves in the foot when we say on the 6th. But if the members feels that the 6th will be really enough, but for me, of what I'm seeing, I don't think the 6 will be enough. But indeed, the members will decide on that. But there's a lot of issues which we did not attend yet. There's a lot of them. And in fact, I'm blaming the Secretariat. I'm clear on that one. That they overlook other issues before them. Before them, they are with them. Before them. So they can't blame members to say we are not giving support or a document or submission of why others like the Vuma and the other they were submitted like that, but others have been ignored. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'm largely covered by the two speakers. Maybe on record, I'll just say, for the sake of about Paul Sullivan, Chair, I'll be there tomorrow. Thank you, Chair.
But you know that in terms of our culture, when you are bereaved, you can't do those things.
We finish a chair log. What the Baba still
Please, let's respect our mother and do things in terms of our culture. Please, I just want to plead with you. It's to your own benefit.
Angikusho njalo nje asihloniphe isinto sakithi siyabonga nje.
The Democratic Alliance.
Thank you, Chairperson. I'll be speaking for the DA. Chairperson, the first issue is the suggested use of the Monday on the 23rd. Being a constituency day, it makes it extremely difficult. Some of us have got meetings cast in stone. So I don't know how many people that would affect, but it may well hit our quorum. Secondly, it doesn't seem there would be any need for an office assistant, being Sarah Jane Trent, to attend, having had Mr. O'Sullivan here for 2 days, 2 consecutive days. I'm not sure why Mr. Adams has failed to pitch so far, but hopefully he could be moved. And then finally, 2 more. One, we've done our questions. And finally, should we be scheduling, this is still in the works, as it were, because we have not yet been granted an extension. I know there was a huge reluctance to even do the 2 extensions we'd already asked for, or 3, I think. So that would have to be expedited before we can actually confirm the further interviews. Thank you, Chair. We're done.
Thank you so much. The EFF.
Thank you, Chairperson. We really want to thank the members of this committee who spoke very strongly about the appearance of Paul O'Sullivan. It is disingenuous to even want to include the speaker amongst the people who must be congratulated after her attempt to want to shield Paul O'Sullivan. In between her letter and the appearance of Paul O'Sullivan, nothing significantly happened which came from Speaker's office. Absolutely nothing. So it is not shocking that it comes from those who are actually defending that letter through the social media, writing paragraphs and paragraphs and alleging that people can't read because they think they are better off than other people or ordinary people of this country because they merely occupy a seat in parliament, which they may not occupy in the next election. So we are very happy that through the prayers of members of this committee, we are not part of any conspiracy. We have never benefited from Paul O'Sullivan's shenanigans. We have never benefited from any process that seeks to undermine the criminal justice system. Have done the right thing and became loyal to the oath they've taken as members of parliament, that they will serve the people of South Africa and they will protect the integrity and the standing of parliament, which is the primary responsibility of a speaker. But for a speaker to participate in a process that seeks to undermine the authority of this parliament, she must be ashamed and she'll go down as being a speaker that collapsed the integrity of parliament in defense of potential criminals who wanted to undermine this parliament. And we said, not under our watch, never. And it happened exactly as we said, that we are not going to allow this nonsensical thing to happen under our watch as members of parliament. So you must be proud as members of this committee for having not associated with criminality and for being loyal to your own your own oath of office that you have taken as members of parliament. And shame on those who tried to justify why people who have captured our criminal justice system were refusing and ridiculing and undermining this parliament. That's why Paul O'Sullivan has got the guts to say some members will not ask him questions because he wants to be asked questions by his friends. I had an interview tomorrow with 702 at 10 o'clock with Clement Manyatela. I cancelled it. I'm coming there. And there is nothing culturally, chairperson, which is going to stop me from coming there. I'm coming to attend to a person who has been running this country and running amok in this country. So finally, South Africans should be proud that they still have men and women of integrity in parliament who stands with the truth and nothing else but the truth. Chair, we are going to propose the extension of this committee for as long as there is an outstanding concrete issues that will bring us to the bottom of the capture of this criminal justice system. We're not going to be told here that we can't be postponing, open-ended. Who said once an open-ended? There's no open-ended. Our term of office ends after 5 years. It's not open-ended. It's 5 years. So whatever is going to take us to bring back the integrity of our criminal justice system, we are going to do everything in our power to make sure that we execute this responsibility without being blackmailed of a time frame and open-ended. So we are not going to be blackmailed. We support that this committee must be postponed and must be extended, and the critical people who must be called, they need to be called. There is no one who's asking for evidence or even prima facie evidence. Honorable Skosana, if you want Judge Luhodi, you put the name down and say, I want Judge Luhodi to appear because of the following issues. Why did he give? Then we debate that. We shouldn't want to mud the whole thing by creating an impression that there are people who want certain people not to appear. If Judge Luhodi must appear, we put the name Judge Luhodi and motivate. I put General Vuma. I said, we left General Vuma and he played a very critical role, and especially on PPEs. Some members will not be impressed with that, especially the PPEs. The PPEs. So We gave reasons why General Vuma must appear, and the committee agreed. There shouldn't be an impression that we are opposed to calling any judge or any prosecutor. We put a name and we say the things that we think need to be canvassed with this particular potential witness, and if that is going to help us, we'll support it without any doubt. Our terms of reference include the judiciary. Our terms of reference include the prosecuting authority. So if there are people in that space, because we have not canvassed those two spaces sufficiently, if there are people in that space who will help us to come to proper conclusion as this committee, let their names be put down, and then an engagement starts from there, and we come to a conclusion if indeed they must come or they must not come. We submitted the questions to the president the same day when we're given a time frame of before 4:30, something like that. We've already submitted our questions, Chairperson, and we fully support that this committee should go and ask for extension. There's an honorable member who spoke about the issue of Mondays. Mondays are very difficult, comrades. Honorable members, you should know that anyone, including the legal advisors and the parliament staff, as you suggest days, please bear in mind that Mondays are very difficult. In as much as we sit in that parliament, we've got a constituency to serve as well. We cannot be consumed by this responsibility and neglect other responsibilities that we have as members of parliament and as political leaders in our own right. So it's going to become a bit tricky there. You might agree to it and only to find that you do not have members on that Monday because they've got other pressing organizational matters and constituency matters. So, Chair, I am not agreeing with that suggestion of Mondays. It's not going to be easy. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you so much. Can I take Honorable Matthys?
Thank you, Chair. Just to follow up on President, the issue on Sarah Jane. It's interesting that the senior counsel would even bring up the fact that we said we were bringing her in because in the absence of O'Sullivan. It was in addition to her name. She's been charged, or she was charged for impersonating an IPED officer. In addition, she's been in and out of the IPED offices, so she must come here. There's no reason for her not to appear, and she can't be appearing on the same day as General Paklani as well. So we need to make sure that is properly scheduled. And also, she will assist in us picking up any inconsistencies between her and Paul O'Sullivan as well in that regard. And then on the issue of the public participation, we were supposed to long have finished public participation, Chair. So can we get a report on what happened? Because now we have to reschedule public participation. We just get random reports in meetings that some who we had approved for public participation have withdrawn. So can we get like a detailed report on each person that we agreed to and what was the outcome and why the person has withdrawn? In fact, they should even write to us and explain to us, those that have withdrawn, why they have withdrawn, because it looks like it's been very clumsy on how we have processed the public participation. And on the, also just on Paul O'Sullivan, his sworn affidavit to us, to the ad hoc committee, and also that he was appearing here today, has been in public space before we have even known. So can we get some clarity on how did that happen? Did our senior counsel advise him that his sworn affidavit is not to be circulated in public until it's before us and a committee. Even the confirmation of the date, what engagements exactly did senior counsel have with him that his information is already out there in the public domain without us as committee members knowing about it? And I don't imagine any of the members of parliament who are in the WhatsApp group would have went and leaked that information. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Sauls.
Honorable Chair, I think maybe I should start with the issue of Mr. Paul O'Sullivan and Mr. Brown Mokhotsi and the Speaker's emphasis on administrative fairness. Because I hear the MKP and Honorable Malema from the EFF playing opposition politics here with this issue. And it's important that the public is clear. In our view, we celebrate the action that the Speaker of Parliament took in upholding parliamentary integrity. Why do we view it in that way? It is the Speaker's responsibility to close herself up from the noise, knowing that what was going on outside, political noise, understanding all those dynamics and still maintaining parliamentary integrity is what she should be celebrated for. She could have participated as well, but she chose to emphasize administrative fairness. Let's be transparent. Was she correct to ask, was all remedial mechanisms exhausted before the last resort of subpoena? She has to make sure of that. It's her responsibility of this as a speaker to do so. Our terms of reference gave two options: physical and virtual. It is us as the PA who continuously said we must show fairness, and we must say if we're going to allow others to do virtual, then we must allow Paul O'Sullivan to do virtual. Luckily for us, we've been consistent in demanding physical presence, and we emphasize that. But in our terms of reference, that option was there. So the Speaker was saying, in our understanding, you have that in your terms of reference. They're willing to come, so they're not refusing to come. What would the subpoena be for? The subpoena will be to summons them to appear. They're not refusing to appear. Now, if you want the subpoena to be specifically appear in person, then satisfy the administrative requirements for why you would decline virtual appearance over physical appearance. Before a legal instrument is used that would cost time, that would cost money, for the speaker to have looked at all those elements and say she will uphold parliamentary integrity by saying, before I make this decision, so that Parliament doesn't get embarrassed in court, make sure you as the committee have satisfied all remedial mechanisms so that when we go, our application is watertight. Then when it came back, all we had to do was ask ourselves, did we fulfill all those requirements? If so, we then tell the Speaker, we've done everything now, do it. But because she took that approach, despite political noise, we should celebrate her for focusing on procedure and administrative fairness. Because of her wisdom, whichever way it is, whatever made Paulo Solomon decide now he's going to come in person, it's neither here nor there. Whoever wants to take glory for that can take glory for it, but don't, whilst take glory for it, make it look like the speaker was trying to protect, as Honorable Malema say, criminals or potential criminals, alleged criminals. We cannot do that to the speaker whilst ignoring that all she did was do her work. This is not a choice of personalities. Let's look at the facts. Let's look at, did she follow procedures? She did. Whatever reason it is now that Paul O'Sullivan is coming, whoever wants to take glory for that, take it. But not in the same breath diminish the integrity of Parliament that was upheld by the face of Parliament. That is firstly our submission on the issue of the Speaker. We celebrate her for standing up for parliamentary integrity and not just subpoena because political noise calls for it. We support the extension, Chair. We want to emphasize once again that in questioning, you know that we've been consistent in asking for more time so that we question. So I would want to ask that we consider that as we deal with the program and the extension, that we spend time questioning, especially with key witnesses. Then I'd like to propose on the program, 5 and 6th of March, I propose that we have the 5th for General Masimula, the entire 5th, and that General Mkwanazi is obviously should be a witness to close it all up, but also we dedicate an entire day for General Mkwanazi. So my proposal is just on that switch at the end of the program. Thank you, Chair.
James?
Thank you, Chair. I've been listening to all my colleagues here this morning and I'm asking myself, who are we actually prioritizing here? Are we prioritizing and pushing our own political parties and agendas, or are we prioritizing South Africans? All these extensions, the one thing that we're trying to fix here, all of these extensions, truth be told, to the person watching and looking in after all these allegations and all this craziness that they are watching, further erodes public trust. And to them, it comes across as a delay tactic. At this point, what do we have to give the public after several extensions and after months of sitting? And what more do we want to hear? Especially, we've been saying this as Action SA, in the absence of a forensic expert to test the weight of all these accusations and people that come and implicate other people. All we do all the time, the minute a name gets dropped, we say, no, we must call that person, maybe we can hear more. But how do we actually test this? This means, are we really going to sit here for the next 5 years? Every time we extend, a need arises to take testimony from an additional implicated person. How many of these witnesses, why can't some of these people actually be filtered through to the portfolio committees? Because they also have a purpose. They're also there to conduct oversight over these departments. We cannot possibly sit here for 5 years and expect South Africans to be okay without even presenting them or giving them an interim report and saying, thus far, this is our findings. How much longer are we going to sit here? I think what we have right now, in the beginning we said, we should have had a way of identifying the key role players here and actually just take a decision there. We don't have to hear, the rot remains the rot. Everyone is the rot is deep, and if We want to hear from every South African and every person that has a contribution to make. Unfortunately, South Africans are going to be suffering because they're never going to have an end. They're never going to have a tangible outcome if this is going to be our approach. So also on the extension, we've had the second extension, and then we've had instances, and I'm not sure who to blame, obviously the Secretariat for this, where on a specific day we have 6 people scheduled to appear before us. We would then just have 2 instead of the 6, where we were told we'll take an hour per person, and we'll spend the entire day listening and questioning and taking testimony just from 2 people. So I'm not sure how that works. Are we now just using up and taking up time just for the sake of sitting there? Also, on Paul O'Sullivan, yes, I'm happy that finally he's here, but he's also made it clear that he won't take questions from, I think it was Action SA, MK, and EFF. How will this be dealt with? Tomorrow, if he comes, he says, no, I've made it clear, I've put it out there, I will not be answering questions. How are we going to deal with this? About Ms. Trent, this is not about a person, right? The committee has seen there was evidence in terms of her involvement that was actually brought to the committee, and I actually shared that. This is about the reforms and the submissions that will strengthen and prohibit such from happening again. It's about the committee acting. We can't be taking people every week, every time someone gets mentioned, we want to know, and then we sit there and we wonder, who's telling the truth? Is it this one or the one that appeared before Miss Sarah Jane? So I don't think that there's even a need to call her. At this point, we need to put an end to all these delays, and the very people that we are serving here, those are the people that we must think, you know what, how do we get back to them without saying we're going to extend, because it's coming across as if though we don't want to get back to the public. At all times, we should take our cue from the public. What is the climate out there? Time is running out, and the public is extremely impatient. We need to prioritize them. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, Andile and Advocate Arense, would you like to respond to some of the questions that have been posed by members here before I summarize?
Good afternoon, Chairperson. Am I audible, Chair?
Yes, we can hear you loudly.
Thanks, Chair. No, Chairperson, all I wanted to say is that I think it's very unfair, Chairperson, to then say that legal services must give assurances regarding the scheduling of witnesses, because the names, Chair, which have been scheduled come from members, not from legal services. So I just wanted to correct that, Chairperson, that this is a committee led by members. We listen, Chairperson, to what you say we must do, and we do exactly that. So Chairperson, the resolution of that does not lie with us, Chair. With respect, the committee must lead us in that regard. Thanks very much.
Advocate Arense.
Thank you, Honourable Chair, Honourable Members. The only comment I have is that as far as the evidence leaders are concerned, and in our consultations with Mr. O'Sullivan, which have been extensive, he's appearing tomorrow to answer questions from the evidence leaders and from honourable members of the committee. Thank you.
Nicolette van Zyl.
Sorry, Chair, and then just in relation to the fact that it now appears that the in-person appearance of Mr. O'Sullivan has been leaked to the press. I communicated that he would be appearing in person last week in confidence. I think on Thursday, when we last sat, you indicated that you would now be meeting members of the Honourable Committee offline, and also to tell them for the reason that if and when we make the statement and the annexes, which is substantial, available on SharePoint to the honourable members, they would obviously ask, now why are you sending this to us when we've made it clear that we are not going to hear him online? In that event, it was agreed with Mr. O'Sullivan that members of this committee must know that he's appearing on Tuesday, and that was the background to this matter. I have got absolutely no idea who would have conveyed this to the media, because Mr. O'Sullivan had called me, I think it was yesterday, to say that he's been, as he put it, inundated with requests to confirm that he was appearing on Tuesday. Thank you.
Nicolette. Romano.
Chair, maybe from my side, just to say that I saw the dates that are proposed there. Maybe the committee should just agree on the witnesses that we are going to call. But I've got a feeling that some of the days they might not be realistic, because as we sit right now, we don't have to have an extension. We still have to write and request that. I don't know when the House will be sitting to process it. So I just thought maybe I should say that just in case members at some point they find that on the 23rd we are not meeting as expected. Thank you, Chair.
There has been a clarity-seeking question on public participation.
Oh, okay, Chair. With regards to public participation, if you remember, we're supposed to have Gun-Free South Africa. Gun-Free South Africa could not come because the dates that were given to them clashed with a long-standing meeting that they had, I think, with their funders. So for that reason, they couldn't come, and they indicate that if the committee still has a slot, they are available to come. And then we had Dr. Gordon Rawls, who was also scheduled to appear. Dr. Gordon Rawls pulled out, he says for safety considerations, he decided that he would not be appearing before the committee. And then we've got Mr. Krishna Chetty that Honorable Skosana raised. We contacted Mr. Chetty via email and the cell number that he provided. And there was no response forthcoming from him. As Honorable Skosana indicated last week, he shared Mr. Chetty's number with me, and I contacted him. And he indicated that he is available. So all that is left is for us, if the committee agrees to listen to further witnesses, then all that is left is for us to get a suitable date for him to appear before the committee. The same would apply to Mr. Abel Mapo. He also, the number that is on his submission, when I tried to call him, it kept saying that the subscriber is not available. Maybe just one more issue, Chair, which I don't know if I should be raising, but maybe I should, because it happened last week that we had a witness before the committee who was not cleared to come and address the committee. And the concern was raised that as a secretariat, we had not properly vetted witnesses. But when we look at the documents presented by Mr. Chetty and Mr. Mapo, the two of them seem to be facing criminal cases, pending criminal cases, which I thought maybe as the support team, we need to have another discussion on those two. Because we do not want a situation wherein we invite witnesses before the committee, and when they come, you ask them questions and they say to the committee, we are not able to respond to the questions because the cases are still pending in court. But we commit to look at those two issues, and I think we should be able to update the committee tomorrow morning. I'm not sure of any other witness who has not been called. Safe to say that, Chairperson, if you remember, we had a meeting wherein there were witnesses that we included because one of them, for instance, had not seen the advert. And through honorable source, they requested to be included on the list. There's another one who presented a medical certificate, and we also included him. And I must say that, since then, Chair, we have people who have been writing as well, who, requesting that they want to be included. I think the committee will at some point have to discuss that as well. I think that's all that I can say at this stage. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. You will compile a list of all those witnesses to the attention of the committee for decision on those matters. Thank you so much, honorable members, for your inputs, and the legal team of Parliament and our evidence leaders. We have come to the end of the discussions of the two items that were being rotated. On the second item, which is item number 3 on the agenda, we still allow members chance to submit their questions by Thursday this week. That will be the last day for all the questions that must be forwarded by members arising from the proceedings that happened previously. And then number 2 is that the name of Sarah Jane Trent was agreed to by the committee, not as a proxy to Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, but as a witness that must appear before the committee. And it will be very wrong to treat female citizens of this country as if they were appendages of male citizens. She has a right as a citizen to appear before the committee. She must appear and speak for herself in those IPIT operations or activities where she would have been involved. So her name stays as a witness, and she must be afforded opportunity to come and appear and state her case. Mr. Paul O'Sullivan is coming tomorrow. I think what we just have to do, the long and short of it, honorable members, and I have always said that it is not the brilliance of individual players in a team that win games, but it's the quality of interactions in a team that makes us a strong team and a winning team. The advices of the speaker were presented before our meeting, and the meeting agreed to those advices. And I think let's bury the matter as such and agree that we are stepping ahead, we are moving forward. Mr. Paulo Sullivan is coming here tomorrow. There are principles that are stated in our constitution, principles stated in common law, and natural justice principles that we all know and are aware of. And as leadership, let's uphold those principles. The proposal on the timetable has been presented here generally or overwhelmingly. There is an agreement that there should be an extension, which we will write to the office of the speaker for request for extension, and then we will include those witnesses that have been proposed. I hear members say it may be problematic to schedule certain days on the program. It's something that the team will have to go back and look at how it revises the timetable to allow all witnesses to be part, and including those other witnesses that may not be featuring now. I know last week there was that witness from SSA, which we must also make a follow-up with, so that he is part of the proceedings. The public participation witnesses that are appearing on this program or the proposed timetable are the witnesses that emanate from a committee decision on a motion that was tabled by Honorable Sauls in the meeting, and the committee accepted that motion. Those names are there, and they have been tagged as a public participation. So, but if there is any other witness who would have been left out, like Honorable Skosana has said, the Secretariat says we will go out in line with what Honorable Matthys has said, give you a report on who has come and who has not come, and what are the reasons for each of them not coming, and those that have not come, we will also make them to do that in writing to the committee that we have not been able to come because of the following reasons. So that we mustn't come and have a situation where somebody says, I wanted to come, but I was prevented, and then it becomes one's word against another. But if we have a written explanation, it helps us to do our business with ease. So, like we did, I'm going to advise you, Chief Whip, again, advise and also plead with you that if you remember the last time when we sought the extension, you were able to convene a Chief Whips forum. And I think let's continue with this line of persuasion where you can convene that meeting and discuss. I mean, some of the issues, I don't think we need to discuss them here. I very much hold you in high regard as leaders of political parties, that you can meet between yourselves and discuss these matters and help the committee to do its work. We don't doubt your commitment. We know that all of you have interest in matters that affect and afflict the people of South Africa. You can go to that meeting and discuss. And when we write to the speaker, we incorporate your suggestion where you will be advising the speaker accordingly to say, this is what we think is is a desirable deadline for the committee. We have met, we have discussed, we have shown each other this and that, and we are satisfied that with this deadline, Speaker, we shall have done our work. I think it's a matter which I'm going to request very humbly and with due respect that you go as the leadership of the political parties and discuss this matter and advise the Speaker accordingly. And to conclude this matter, I want to agree with Honorable James that members, let's move towards proposing interventions that can help us to restore the criminal justice system in this country. South Africans are suffering every day. South Africans no longer know where to go with the problems they face. Since we started with our work, there have been cases where people were murdered. There have been so many revelations, witnesses that have been killed. It just shows the extent to which people are waiting very, very urgently for us to come back with a report and say, these are the interventions which we are now tabling before Parliament as the highest locus of power in the Republic to ensure that these resolutions are implemented and our people are served better. So I feel that she's justified to make that statement to say the committee cannot run forever. There must be a point where the committee makes its proposals and those proposals are implemented for the safety and security of our citizens. So with that, we are going to conclude those items and I'm going to recuse Advocate Arendse as we deal with the last item on the agenda, which is the letter that has been written by the South African National People's Civic Organization.
Well, thank you, honourable members. Could I also ask that Advocate Mkhize be excused?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, and then Andile, I'm going to request you because we come from a long debate. I'm going to request you to once again restate those recommendations that you are making for the committee to consider on the letter.
No, Chairperson, thanks, Chairperson, and honorable members, and thanks to my colleagues as well. So Chairperson, what I was merely saying, I was merely giving our attitude as the legal team, Chairperson, to the letter which has been sent to the Speaker, which of course the committee is expected to deliberate on it. And I think, Chairperson, I was merely saying that our view is that in order for the committee to avoid a situation where it must deal with an avalanche of these letters from the public going forward, we ask the committee to give comfort to South Africans that the process which the committee is embarking on via this inquiry is a member-led one. It's led by members of Parliament. The evidence leader simply leads evidence. It is only the committee that makes a determination or that decides what to do with the evidence. Moreover, Chairperson was saying the committee also collects this evidence on its own via members' questions to witnesses. And I think to sum up, Chairperson was saying that our people must find comfort in knowing that this process is led by none other than their MPs, and to the extent that there are people like us and evidence leaders who are assisting the committee, our role is limited to that assistance and not to making determinations or decisions on behalf of the committee. Thanks, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, Andile. Can I then rotate with the members and hear if they agree with those recommendations that will inform the response of the Speaker to the letter by SAPCO, the African National Congress?
Thank you, Chairperson. Yes, Chairperson. I think we accept the recommendations. There's not much in the letter, to go by. It makes accusations against the evidence leader, but provides no information against which we can test those accusations. So I do agree with the recommendation that Bonani has proposed. I don't think we have anything more to add on the letter, Chair. Unless, the claims that are made are substantiated, it will be very difficult for us to engage on it. Thank you, Chair.
MKP. The MKP.
Thank you, Chair. I think we still deliberating on this matter, Chair. Can we come back after a few political parties?
Chair?
Yeah, no.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, thanks. Yeah, thanks, Chair. No, we're here. Apologies, I've got some troubles with network here. No, Chair, ours is to say we don't undermine concerns which are raised by members of the public. It is within their right to do so. So there's absolutely nothing wrong to raise reservations when they've detected some during the work of evidence leader, because this is the people's parliament. The evidence leader is going to be paid from the taxpayers' money. So we can't confine this to parliament when there's a need for the evidence leader. Reservations of the members of the public, you must do so without any attempt to be defensive. Chair, it's an open secret that as the MK party we've been having, we had our own reservations about the evidence leader. We shared them with members of this committee. We also shared them on the meeting, but we always subject ourselves to the views of the majority here. And we trust that the wisdom of members of this committee is always prevailing. Where the evidence leader is seen to be making mistakes, some members intervene. Maybe sometimes we overlook some of the mistakes for me, but we hear what the public is saying. We do want to sympathize with their reservations, but they must also have trust in us as members of the committee, because the reality now dictates that we must proceed with the evidence leader despite those reservations which have been raised, and those reservations which we have as members of the AdHoc committee, because we are towards the finishing line. So we are saying, in as much as we sympathize with these reservations, but we are faced with this reality that now we're towards the end of our work. So the only task we're left with now is a task of ensuring that as SOPA members in this committee, we guide the process and we protect the process to be always impartial and objective. That is what we can say as the MK party. Thank you very much.
The DA.
Thank you, Chair. Just apologies for earlier for having had to join a little bit later. Chair, we think that we're already close to 90% through the entire process. So changing the evidence leader now wouldn't, I don't think it would be necessary, as we've discussed it. And the evidence leader hasn't in any way, in my opinion, influenced anyone unduly. So he's been fair in that regard, and for that reason, we don't think it's necessary to change now. Thank you, Chair.
the EFF.
Thank you, Chair. We support the recommendations by our Parliament Legal Counsel. But having said that, we do note that since our very first meeting with Senior Counsel, the lead evidence leader, we have raised our concerns regarding his engagements with witnesses. However, we do know that as members of Parliament, we have managed to maintain our independence. It has been very frustrating for us. Sometimes we've had to stay in proceedings much longer than we needed to because the evidence leader is not leading evidence. He generally, and it's probably a bit of a stretch if I say generally, but there's been times where he's made many political statements and then he asked for concurrence from witnesses, and that's not leading evidence. He comes and he reports to us that he spoke to witnesses outside and he's told them what he's going to, what questions he's going to raise with them that is not even in the statement. And those are things that should be done during consultation if there's something that needs to come in. But these are things that we've raised. We'll also like to, so it's also something that the public has picked up on. I mean, our very first meeting, we had to adjourn for a couple hours to go and fix up the witness statement of our very first witness. So those things have not obviously gone unnoticed in the public, but we are too far in the process at the moment. It's been frustrating, but we will continue pushing through, and we concur with the report that the legal counsel has presented on what our position can be, but having noted our frustrations as well. Thank you, Chair.
The Patriotic Alliance.
We are covered, Chair.
Action SA.
Covered, Chair.
Thank you so much, honorable members. We have come to the discussion of this item, and also it being the last item of this meeting. We will incorporate those inputs that members have made to the recommend on top of the recommendations that Andile has presented in this meeting, that it is not prudent at this stage that the recommendation that was made by that organization that the evidence leader must be removed is not a prudent recommendation in terms of the understanding of the committee. That a lot of work has been done already, and the committee is moving towards concluding its proceedings. But however, the grievances that have been raised are not taken for granted. All of us are human beings. We will keep on working very hard to improve and to be visibly seen serving our people better. Honorable members, I want to thank you so much.
Chair, just before you close, if you allow me.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Chair, I don't want to come back again next Monday and talk about this issue of public participation. The Secretariat must do the right thing. They should not pick and choose. Those they've chosen before they've agreed upon, they must come before us. The Chetty issue, I don't want to get another email again to say it's been ignored here or by us. I thank you, Chair.
Yeah, no, Chetty must not talk to you alone. If there are frustrations with the Secretariat, he can also talk to me as the chairperson, so that it does not become your matter, it becomes a matter of the committee. But we have summarized that matter to say the Secretariat will go and compile that list and come back and report on the whereabouts of each of the witnesses or the applicants that we have identified to come and appear before us. Thank you so much. Honorable members, is now 13:23. I'm calling off the meeting. Good luck. We will meet tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Thank you so much.